something I came up with. I didn't really figure out the game of life until like my third year of college. And I am a product of Broward County. I was born and raised near Sunrise Boulevard. I went to Dillon High School. I graduated top 10% of my class. I don't think I ever earned a C or lower in my life. I've only obtained A's and B's. I was a scholar athlete. I earned a full scholarship to the University of Florida. I played football for a minute for Coach Spurrier. I've won some national championships. But the one thing I am proud to say when I say I went to college, and I'm proud to say I graduated. And when I graduated, I came home to, to be an educator, and I didn't know I would go into education. But when I started doing it, I found out that was my love, and here I am. Now I'm an assistant principal at Piper High School. I'm on track to be a principal in Broward County in about a year or two. But this right here, my organization, Keeping Dreams Alive, is my life. It is my dream, and my ultimate goal is to make that my career. It's like my school on wheels. What I wanted to talk about today was healthy choices for teenagers. I'm going to fly through this handout. This is what I call the template for success in playing the game of life, and it works in any category of your life. Just depends on the personality hat you're wearing. You can be wearing your son or daughter hat. You can be wearing your student hat. You can be an athlete. You can be an employee. We wear lots of hats. They just change when you walk through a different door. So I want to go through it just real quickly. There are three aspects of it. It's to learn the game, play the game, then win the game. The things you get out of, and as I talk about this, students, I want you to think about when you, as a student, throughout most of this, and when you come into a classroom on the first day of class, and you're sitting there, and the teacher's going through all of their expectations. And you're sitting there, and you're looking around the room, and you're wondering who's the hardest worker, is this teacher going to give me so much that I can't do? And the teacher's telling you all the things you got to do to get A or B in this class. So 1 through 6 at the top, if you look at that for me. I do have some extra copies. You can pass them around to the adults if they like to follow along. You find out your rules and regulations with a purpose and a mission. The teacher gives you, your grading procedures and so forth. The instructor's expectation. They start introducing the common sense, the little things that it takes to be successful in this class. You start to figure out how to avoid distractions. You start to set up a game plan on when dealing with other students, how to avoid negative distractions during class. Sources of motivation and assistance. When you don't feel like doing it, you start to look around and you say, okay, where are my sources of support? And then, of course, everything has a rubric system where you get a grade for it. Like as a son or daughter, you might get rewards, whatever that may be. As a student, it's A's or B's. That's your paycheck. As an athlete, it might be scoring a touchdown or whatever the case may be. And then as an employee, ultimately, it's your paycheck to take care of your family. Then you get into the playing of the game. When you come to class every day and you're being a model student, and these are the things where you start to gain experience as a model student. And so you start to follow those instructions for an appropriate grade. You develop a specific skill, whatever that class may be. You learn the art of taking or studying for and passing the test. That's major. Trial and error. Some things you're going to learn just based on making mistakes and learning from it. And I heard some of that around the room, and we can learn from a lot of mistakes from others, and we can also be a leader in helping someone else not make that mistake. Maintaining good study habits. Appropriate time management skills. That's something I would put a star next to, because you got to have balance. You can't spend too much time on one thing versus the other. If you're hanging out with friends too much, it might take away from work. If you're at practice too much, it might take away from the family. You have to have a set plan and balancing your time. and you get better at that as you go along. You get new learning strategies. Number 8 is one of my favorites. You learn the art of written and verbal communication in a multicultural environment. Every school I've ever went to and worked at, it's a multicultural environment, and we've learned the art of writing and speaking appropriately. And then last but not least, we're playing the game, which is ultimately one of the biggest things, and that's the relationship between being a model student and going to class, and then also being involved, extracurricular activities. I love students like you guys who are involved in other things besides going to class, eating lunch, and going straight home. I know kids like that. And they have leadership skills, but they don't demonstrate it. Or they might have God-given talent to be an athlete, and they're not doing that. So we're encouraging them to do that. And one of the reasons I call it win the game is because I'm a champion. I don't know how to lose. And if I did lose, I still got something from it, and I still won from that situation. So I always consider winning the game, and these are the things that you do when you win. You achieve that grade that you strive for. You apply your high school or educational process from adolescence through secondary, and then you go on to a career, and you come back to your community and you give back. It's the little things that I'm going to delineate in a second before I sit down. The things I really got out of school. I don't remember all of, well, I remember most of it. I was a cool nerd. I like to consider myself a cool nerd. But I didn't, most kids don't remember all of the solve for X and, all the things in science or biology or chemistry. It's the little things I'm going to go through that's going to pull you through every aspect of life and how to win the game. And last but not least, leading by example. All of my coaches taught me that, to lead by example. Don't brag on what you're doing. Other people will tell you the great things you're doing. And then when they tell you, you're humble about it. And you go, me? You're talking about me? Oh, gee, thanks. And you keep moving. The norms for good and great people. Students, I want you to post this in your favorite room. Mine's the kitchen on the refrigerator. So every time I go in there, I see this, and it reminds me of what I need to do. And you should also set goals, long-term, short-term, and post them so you can see them, and it reinforces the goals you have set. Now, this is the things I got out of high school, or just school in general, and it makes me a better employee. And I'm on my way to the top, and I'm working on greatness, and there's always room for improvement. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. But I believe in everything I do. And when I come into a room, I peek game and I look around and I go, wow, I was getting nervous. I thought somebody can outwork me. Can't outwork me because I'm going to work hard because I want success in the end. I learned how to listen and follow instructions, maybe the first time given. I'm always prepared and on time. You can ask her. I was here early. Avoids distractions, especially negative. And I heard some of that. And guys, we want to be a part of all of this. I am an assistant principal and I am extremely busy. But just like my director, Mr. Stout, if he set it up and I'm there with all my stuff, I'm going to be here to support you guys in whatever you're doing, whenever I can, however I can. Use your time wisely. Have effective time management skills. You deal with other cultures respectfully. That's what you learned when you were at that school with all races and cultures. And you didn't just walk by everybody like you didn't know them. You even had friends of different races and cultures. And I thought my mom would put me in a private school, and then I was back in the inner city school, and then I did it in middle school, and I did it in high school, and I go, man, this lady don't like me. Why is she doing that? And then I got to the University of Florida, and they dropped me in Florida, and I go, gee whiz, I love my mom. I blended right in, and I was one of the best. Communicates continuously. That means when you get on your job and you write something, they understand what you're writing. You say something to somebody and you don't have the link. You know how kids talk. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And then I say, no, I don't. I'm always accountable. I understand my responsibility and consequences every time. That's a big one. I know my consequence for working hard, A's and B's. I know my consequences for being a great employee. Cheese, cheddar, moolah, money. I find sources of positive motivation and rewards. I have a support team when I don't feel like dealing with something. And I'll call Coach Stout, I call him all the time, and I may be having a rough day, and he'll give me some encouragement and kick me in the butt, and here I am going back again. You gotta have support. Friends, teachers, whatever. You gotta have somebody you can call. Guidance counselors, etc. And you also should reward yourself, or do so well that your parents reward you and give you things. Sets long and short-term goals. I didn't start setting goals, I'll be honest with you guys, until my 3rd year of college, when it all hit me. When I told them I'll make my own schedule, I'll pick my own major, and I'll graduate when I say I'm going to graduate. I always strive for perfection. I'm not perfect, but I'm sure working at it. And I'm a leader along the way. And last but not least, I got a lot of this from playing sports. You know, from when things don't go right all the time, I'm still able to walk the same path, be positive, and come out as a champion, even if I lost the game. So I handle mistakes and adversity with pride. So I need you all to apply the game to your education, to your extracurricular activities as a son, as a daughter, but ultimately you do it so much that you have great habits when you're an adult. And I wanted to come and tell you guys about the game. And that's just a piece of what we do with Keep Your Dreams Alive Foundation. We guest speak, yeah we do, but we have awareness seminars, we have parent training, we have over 100 students who we are helping obtain a college scholarship, and we're also looking for sponsors and partners. And I would love to partner with this organization. Thanks for having us, guys. I'm gonna sit here.